I would like to touch upon a few scientific approaches to learn faster and better. Learning happens when there is a lasting change in behavior as a result of an experience of a person. When you think of learning, it might be easy to fall into the trap of only considering the formal education. That's wrong. Learning is realistically an ongoing process taking place throughout our life. Once Oliver Wendell said, "A mind that is stretched by new experience can never go back to its old dimensions." You can train your brain and memory to learn faster. If you can learn things faster, you can stand out from the rest because authority flows from who knows. An award-winning scholar, Nisant Kasibatla, said, "Your learning ability decides your earning capacity in your life." So deep learning is very important. No point of learning something at surface level. If you don't implement it or experience it properly, you will forget it soon. First learn, then reflect on it. Implement and experience it. Finally, you can share the same with others. If you want to learn things faster, first thing is to create the right learning environment. Normally, night is not good to learn because you need to have a good sleep. But remember, it should be your preferred style. But most of the students in our country do learn in the night. How should be the lighting? The direction of light should come behind you, over the shoulders. Sometimes music helps. Choose classical music if you prefer. Don't play loudly. Remember, it should not be a song. As you know, music is a therapy. Keep your phone away if you don't use tools or apps for online learning. Learning is single tasking. Attention on one thing is very important. Don't go for multitasking. Quality of input is very important to get the right output at the end of your learning process. Finally, build your own mind palace. If you want to memorize faster, associate or relate your learning with certain places in your room. Use symbols, locations of your learning materials. All these will help you to memorize things and to learn things faster and better. How to enhance your learning capacity? First, study in small chunks, 25 to 30 minutes, and have a 5 minutes break. In general, attention span is 8 seconds, but you have an average concentration time between 45 minutes to 120 minutes. Taking class notes also important. Take notes within minutes after the class. Making notes without looking at the book and check and see whether it is correct will help you to learn things faster. Learn only vital few. Learn variation outliers, not the normal things, because most of the questions teachers ask are based on variations. Try to learn opposite things, day and night, negatives and positives. If you know the positives, it's easily you can find negatives. So that will help you to learn things better. How to read textbook faster? SQTR method is the best. SQTR reading method is a way to study, understand and remember written information quickly. This was found by Francis Robinson, a psychologist, in 1946. When reading textbooks, learn to follow the rules of SQTR reading method. S stands for surveying or browsing. Layout, chapters, graphs, pictures, and highlighted words in your book. Q stands for checking questions in the chapters and asking yourself what you already know in the chapters and what you author want to convey. Read actively when keeping previous steps in the back of your mind, and write down some notes if you feel it is something new. Recite means repeating loudly in your own words what you have read and ask yourself questions, and if possible explain it to someone else nearby you. Review means read all relevant parts again and pay extra attention to the parts that are difficult for you to understand. Follow SQ3R method to read books faster and to learn new things. As you know, practice testing is one of the most effective learning techniques. Remember, the brain gets rid of irrelevant info as its capacity is limited. After 1 hour, we forget half of the things that we have learned. 1 day later, we remember only 30% of what you have learned in the class. You need to learn not only the learning curve, but the forgetting curve as well. Typically, students under stress are less effective in recalling information from memory. Taking practice tests has resulted in strong memory capacity even under high level of stress. Generally, students often cram before a test, which should not be the way, and it is less effective in the learning process. Recalling stuff from the brain is called practice testing, which is a well-accepted high-quality technique to memorize things. Retention capacity is very high in practice testing. Study like a teacher. Think about the questions which your teacher may ask from you. Then start answering them and check from the textbooks and correct them. That's my personal achievement in academic life. I had the ability and the sense to guess the questions that I had to face in the exams. It was a great success. How to memorize things quicker? The keyword mnemonic is one of the best method of doing it. Learn to use mnemonics. Very traditional, but it still is useful. These are memory devices to memorize things that aid more information retention. There are a large number of devices available online. You can search and study devices that are helpful for your own studies. If you want to remember rainbow colors, we use the acronym WIPU. And how to set the table? Anything with 4 goes on the left, example fork, and anything that goes on the right, spoon and knife. These mnemonics that can be used to memorize things better. How to memorize things quicker? The answer is spaced repetition. 80-20 rule is applied here as well. 20% read and 80% recalling is the best way to improve attention. Read a concept and recall it in your own words. Your mind works better when you go on doing one thing again and again, and finally jump into the next. Why spaced repetition is important? New learning drives out all learning when insufficient time is given for learning. So best way out is to space out learning. If you want to memorize something for a short time, after learning something, first repetition right after learning, second repetition after 15-20 minutes. then do something else and relax. Third repetitions after 6 to 8 hours. Final repetitions after 24 hours. You will see that you can remember everything what you have learned in a short period of time. If you want to memorize something for a long time, you need to follow the first two steps in the same manner. It means first repetition just after learning, second repetition after 15-20 minutes, third one after 1 day, fourth after 2 to 3 weeks, fifth after 2 to 3 months. Then of course you can memorize something that you learn for a long time. You can use Anki app. It is free and open source flashcard program for spaced repetition. So you can use this app to practice spaced repetition digitally. I would like to give a very important point about your brain. It's very important that you should know that human brain can remember unfinished tasks better than the completed tasks. Don't be in a finished mode. Keep always unfinished mode in your mind. That will help you to remember many things that you have learned. Remember, learning is a lifelong art in your life and a passionate path for excellence.